Continue with the stellar types and its evolution in pteridophytes. What we saw in our last session is a protostele where there is a complete absence of pith. There is no pith. Moving on further, we have siphonostele. Now what siphonostele is? It is the stele in which pith is present. We can make out these are the two types of siphonostele where there is a presence of a central pith. This central pith is now surrounded by the vascular cylinder, that is xylem as well as phloem. This is actually a modified protostele. Now there are two types of siphonostele. One is ectoploic, another one is amphiploic. Now this word floic, flow, FPHL, flow is nothing but it is addressing phloem. Ecto is outside. When the phloem is present outside in a stele, such a stele having pith and presence of phloem outwardly, such pith is called as ectoploic siphonostele. Whereas in case of amphiploic, amphi means two, floic, flow, again flow is nothing but phloem. There will be presence of two phloem, such stele where there is a presence of two phloem with a center pith. It is called as amphiploic stele. Now to describe more ectoploic stele, in this type of stele what we have a central pith. This central pith is surrounded by a ring of xylem. So very next to pith, what is present is the ring of xylem, and that ring of xylem is surrounded by a ring of phloem. So we have a pith surrounded by a concentric rings of xylem and phloem. Phloem is again surrounded by pericycle, that is done. So this kind of stele is called as ectoploic siphonostele. This is usually seen in case of equisetum. Now speaking about the amphiploic siphonostele, in these types of stele, phloem is present on both the sides of xylem. It is like we have explained it. We have pith here. Pith is surrounded by pericycle. We have endodermis, and what we have is phloem. So we are going to call it as inner pith, inner endodermis, and inner phloem. This phloem is surrounded by xylem. So this is xylem. This xylem is surrounded by phloem again. This will be now outer phloem. This outer phloem is surrounded by pericycle. This will be outer pericycle. Outer pericycle is surrounded by endodermis again. So this will be the outer endodermis. So what we have xylem here. In out as well as inside inward position of the xylem, we have the presence of phloem. Two phloem are present. That's the reason it is called as amphiploic. So you can make out here we have a central pith. This central pith is surrounded by first inner pericycle. We have inner endodermis. Next to inner endodermis we have inner phloem. Next to inner phloem, this picture is not clear. Next to inner phloem we have presence of xylem. Next to xylem, outer phloem. Next to outer phloem, outer pericycle. Next to outer pericycle we have outer endodermis. So there is a presence of two phloem which is present in between the xylem. Such a kind of stele is called as amphiploic siphonostele. The inner pericycle, inner phloem and inner epidermis are towards the pith. Towards the pith what we have? Inner pericycle, inner endodermis and inner phloem. Whereas outer pericycle, outer epidermis and outer phloem, they lie on the side of a xylem. So this is xylem. So outer to the xylem, what we have? Outer phloem, outer pericycle, outer endodermis. Such arrangement is called as amphiploic siphonostery. Thank you.